Welcome to another episode of TeeVo and the Beard.
I know you can't see it, but I'm TeeVo, and that's the Beard, and we are here to talk about less things than we usually do.
Yes, this is going to give you any of our listeners. This will give you a nice break from all the political huffle puffle going on
'Cause we don't
out
like
in
to
the
talk
real
about
world.
that.
Yeah.
No, we don't. We don't. Everybody else is talking about it.
Yes, and Wonder Woman did not win presidency,
Wonder
so
Woman did not.
yeah. Of course, the way the episode ended a few episodes ago for Supergirl, I'm not sure that would be a good thing now.
There you go.
So that's still up in the air. But today we're going to talk about Supergirl.
Yes.
Which of course is normally spoiler filled, and it will stay the
Spoiler
same.
everything,
Yes.
everywhere, all over.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about Doctor Strange. And what I was thinking is we can do kind of maybe a little summary, just a little mini review first, because TiVo saw it, I have not. That is spoiler free.
Yes.
And then we'll give you a little warning where if you haven't seen it yet and don't want any spoilers, you can stop listening. But if you're like me and don't mind spoilers, we'll tell you all the little secrets and
For other movies, we've done it that way too.
Yeah.
We started out just a general feeling of it, and
Mhm.
then we go full on. Here's everything that happened.
Right. Yeah. So, but first we're going to talk about Supergirl.
What did you think of the episode?
I loved it. This is one of those episodes where, as a Supergirl fan already, an episode like this is why I continue watching it. Yeah. It was puppies and reindeer. Puppies and unicorns.
Reindeers
too. Yeah, we're getting close. I keep seeing
Reindeers
too
are
many.
usually associated with happy, so
Yeah.
that's not.
There's too many Christmas commercials on TV already, so it's
Right.
got me in that mindset. But it's puppies and unicorns. But at the same time, it touched on very serious subjects.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
Totally leaving out any Martians.
They did.
I thought was weird because
Yeah.
I was like, I rewatched. I was like, there was no Hank in there anywhere.
Yeah.
But we did get James Olsen is starting to man up.
Right.
He's definitely not Jimmy anymore. What do you think about it? Just general thoughts.
General thoughts. I mean, I enjoyed it. There were
Mhm.
some things that I didn't click with right away,
Okay.
like the transition from Jimmy to what's going to be the Guardian. Just
Right.
seemed like, okay, I don't know your character that well, but that just seemed really abrupt. That all of a sudden you just
They did it quickly. Yeah.
It was really quick.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like there was any real motive behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess as comic book fans, we know that's Jimmy Olsen, and you know
Right.
he's had X amount of years spending time with Superman. So
Mhm.
maybe years of that being with Kara around Supergirl, just one too many times where he just felt helpless.
Yeah.
So I put it in that context, but within
Mhm.
just the show, it just seemed really quick.
Yeah, because we've never had this version of James Olsen before, so
Yeah.
we're just now seeing him. So, and especially since it kind of all happened within one episode.
Yeah, if it was
Spread it out a little bit.
If it was like a seed from like the first episode of the
Right.
season, maybe,
Mhm.
but it just felt really quick. I was like,
Yeah, 'cause-
whoa, you're you're doing that.
Because I thought they were planting the seed with this episode. Because when Wynn tells them no at first, I was like, all right, so they're just going to kind of drop it for the rest of this episode. And then in the next couple episodes, we're going to build up to it.
Nope, he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
So that's where I felt on it. But overall, I mean, I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Um,
What about introducing Mike, quote unquote, into the real world?
yeah, let's talk about Mike.
Yeah.
Forgot the last name he was given, but
Matthews.
Mike Matthews. Yeah.
Because the who's the original creator of Superman? I can't think of his name now, but he's very much into alliteration.
Jerry Siegel.
Jerry Siegel, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why you have Clark Kent and
Yeah.
Lex Luthor and stuff like that. So
That's
now
right.
it's Mike Matthews.
Yeah, I mean, I've really been enjoying the relationship between Kara and Mon-El.
Mhm.
They seem to have kind of a sort of the kid brother
Yeah,
relationship thing. It's good for comedy.
yeah. I know I said last week that I thought they were going to kind of push the romance in there, but with this episode, I did see it more as a sister brother mentor
Yeah.
type thing.
I didn't. I mean, I hope they don't do the romance
Yeah.
app.
Well, I'm not thinking they
Expected
will now after seeing that.
But it's nice for comedy and for seeing
Hmm.
kind of Kara as that older sister type, or
Yeah.
the older, just the mentor looking person she wanted to
Yeah.
be. And the whole episode was she wanted to be that
Mhm.
because she never got to be that for Superman.
Right.
So
Yeah, because Alex had been taking care of her entire life, and
yeah.
she never, wants to spread her wings and repay all that.
But it did call for some funny moments.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know how long the time lapse from each episode is, but wow, you cannot expect him to know Earth custom. I thought
Right, yeah, they just kind of threw him in the deep end.
exactly like with work and
Yeah.
ID and just everything like that. I was like, wow, huh?
I mean, it was like taking a college frat boy and throwing him into the business world
Yep.
with no training.
Yep.
And they gave him a pile of paperwork, and it was like, yeah, you got to file this. But no explanation on what that means.
Exactly.
And not only is he not familiar with how a magazine works, he's not familiar with how Earth works.
Exactly.
I did love when they were getting him ready for work with the glasses. It was like, what are these for? It's like, well, if you ever want to go out and save the world, this is so people don't recognize you.
Yep.
Because as we've learned from Superman and Supergirl, glasses will change everything.
Yep. So, and another funny moment was when she caught him with Tessmacher. That was funny.
Well, I did say last week that somebody needs to get some action in one of these shows.
Monel,
boom, did it.
By God, Monel is,
He wasted no time.
Monel's filling our quota.
Yeah, right. And nothing disastrous happened from that. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. The other hot button issue of the show. So the Alex and Maggie story.
Yes.
And
as we predicted, Maggie's girlfriend, who had no name, out of the picture.
Out of the picture. And, I come down hard on that story because there's a problem with the DC shows now.
Yeah.
Lack of surprise.
Yeah.
The scene where Alex came out to Maggie, I thought it was a really nice scene. All I'm saying was, yeah, we knew.
We knew it, yeah.
We knew.
Yeah.
We would have liked to maybe been on this journey with you.
Even if you've never read a comic book before and weren't familiar with these characters, the way it was acted.
And for me, I only seen 3 episodes.
Right.
I don't know.
So you knew nothing about Alex, really.
But it was just so instant.
Yeah.
And not the kind like the instant in love, just the instant, wow, that was so obvious.
Yeah.
So while it was a beautiful scene, it just didn't. We knew.
Yeah.
We're like, we knew already.
But I did like how they used the rom-com trope of when Maggie first approaches her, Alex denies it, and she's like, no, I don't like girls, no. Totally.
And I thought it was funny from our perspective. I was like, what? Are you serious?
You've been almost literally crying about her anytime she goes on a date. You've been checking her out every time she walks by. She calls and you jump at it.
Yeah.
You're more than BFFs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I hope now that it's out of the bag per se, we'll get some easiness into that relationship.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be kind of an emotional scene when she tells her family of sorts, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But just towards Maggie, the one she wanted, that was where it was like, come on.
You did not see this coming, really.
Yeah. Like that's all. Yeah, that's all. It's just a surprise element that the Berlanti shows are lacking.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like last week when we talked about Miss Martian, knowing that she was a white Martian.
Yeah.
Not a surprise. The fact that Miss Martian, is in there at all.
Yeah.
Not a surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I think the other big thing about the episode is the Luthors.
Yes, the Luthors.
But I don't like how they should call it Luthors.
Right. Yeah. I was watching, this is kind of just to slightly stray off. I was watching the Justice League movie. Which one was it? Battle of Two Earths.
Okay.
Yeah. And in that entire show, it's pronounced Lex Luthor. And I wanted to hug my TV. It's like you were saying it right.
But not only that, it's always Lex Luthor. Because there's an O-R, not an E-R.
Right.
So when they say Lena Luthor, I'm like, it's Luthor.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can take it. It's still your name.
Yeah.
But we see Kara and Lena work together. And there was a scene at the end when after they defeated the bad guys.
Yeah. Which Wynn gets to help in.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. and the bad guys were fronted by the mysterious lady we saw who made Metallo.
Right.
But, they were defeated by Lena and Wynn and Supergirl and a little bit of Jimmy.
Yeah.
But not that much.
He was there.
He was there. I think he threw a punch in.
Yeah. He's been watching Mac on S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think so, yeah. So, there was a scene at the end when all that was done where Supergirl was at Lena's office and, they were enjoying each other's company, and Lena even said, hey, who thought, a Luther, I want to say a Luther and a Super.
Yeah.
Working together. I was like, yeah, that's kind of funny. And then, she excuses herself. And then she goes, hello, mother. And then we see the lady from Cadmus.
Dun, dun, dun.
The lady from Cadmus is a Luthor.
Yes.
So what that does, we don't know.
But it also did not surprise me because when...
I will say, you know what? I've been saying lack of surprise for this show. That was a nice one.
Really?
I thought so. I mean,
was it that scene that surprised you, though? Or was it when she's in the... looks like an abandoned subway talking to the nameless bad guys, and she says, I'm doing this for my son and daughter. Because right then I was like, Luther.
Didn't really hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that.
Oh, okay.
But nonetheless, it just, we didn't get it from, like, the first time. Say, like, our thing with Alex and Maggie.
Yeah.
From the first scene they did together, it was like, whoa.
It was obvious, yeah.
And the first time we saw Brenda Strong's character... Now at Luthor, it was that mystery. It was that mystery that I like. So when it was, paid off at that last scene, I was like, hey, good job.
Yeah, I will give it that, because even though like the very last big reveal didn't surprise me, when she did say son and daughter, that one I was like, oh, I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
I honestly say I don't remember hearing that. But hey, nonetheless, when the
made it even better for you.
When the reveal happened, it was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you think they're going to push a Wynn Luther romance there?
Man, I'm not sure.
Because it could, if Luther does go with Katniss, then it will give that nice tension between, the good guys and bad guys.
When the way they've been portraying Lena, from the get-go, she doesn't want to be associated with that aspect of her name.
Right.
And from the way she greeted her mother, didn't look like it was like, a lot of people maybe read it as like, maybe she's part of the, the bad guy plan.
Oh, I don't even think she knows about Katniss or anything like that.
But yeah, in the way she looked at it, it was like, Jew.
Yeah. It's like, it's going to be kind of like when, Snow saw her mom in Flash. It's kind of like haven't seen you forever sort of thing.
Exactly. So I hope they keep her not a bad guy, but we'll see. She is a Luthor.
Yeah.
So,
but she can break the mold because it's now L-Corp.
Yep.
Yeah. But
with that, I can understand. It's like, well, you're not Lex.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And Luthor Corps is kind of a mouthful.
It is. Yeah.
But overall, the episode was. I enjoyed it. I'll be back. I'll be pretty much back for the remainder of the episodes that they have released.
Okay.
The synopsis of.
Yeah. So at least until the mid-season break, probably.
Yeah. There are some few episodes I want to watch. One coming up is they actually have released it. There will be Cyborg Superman. Okay. And it will be at Cadmus because it says Mon-El will be captured by Cadmus. So Kara goes to I said it. Yeah, it's muscle memory. So she goes to.
Had to learn to repronounce everything.
Well, it's very conscious when I say Kara.
Yeah.
So when I'm just in the mood,
it's like saying Luther.
Yes. So Supergirl goes to Cadmus, and there she battles Cyborg Superman. Now there are a lot of theories on people who could be, but everybody knows who I want it to be. Right. And it better be.
It better be.
I'm not going to say that I'm going to quit right there, because after that episode, we get the prelude to the invasion crossover, and then I think after that, we get Kevin Smith's episode.
Right, yeah.
So...
And I think that's the last synopsis that's
the last synopsis that they release. So I'm not saying if it's not Dean Cain...
Right.
I'm done, but... The next few episodes really have to pick up the slack.
Yeah, but Berlanti's supposed to make up for Zoom, that reveal. So we need a really good reveal on Supergirl.
Well, from what I read, we do know that Jeremiah Danvers is captured by Cadmus.
Right.
So the synopsis says she goes to Cadmus.
Yeah.
Kinda, it's there.
But DC, if you're listening, don't tell us yet.
Yes. Oh, yes, don't tell us.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
Yeah, don't give us a preview showing Dean Cain's face.
I will be happy. Don't get me wrong. But please, I want the reveal when I see the episode.
Right, yeah.
And when was the last time someone really was begging for Dean Cain?
Yeah, right.
So, Dean Cain, if you're listening, please.
Be in it.
I want it to be you.
Yes.
It's gotta be you.
Yeah. And you got Dean Cain money, come on.
Yes. So, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure about next week's. I think next week is just setting up more for the Guardians.
Right.
We get James in his suit. I hope he does a good job.
Yeah. I hope that they do some, like, training montage sort of thing.
Stuff like that. I know on Arrow, Diggle is the Guardian.
Yeah.
Which, I guess they just don't have another name. But, it works in that because they're just two regular dudes. I hope Jimmy's going to be good.
Yeah.
Because what help can you provide to the Kryptonian who can do anything? So
you couldn't even save your dad's camera.
Yeah. So I hope that, whatever Wynn does to his suit, whatever training goes through, it's not going to be a liability.
Yeah.
But that tends to happen with sidekicks.
But as far as characters go, because Olsen's been built as kind of this perfect man type character, just as far as his character itself goes, even aside from helping Supergirl and all that. I want him in a training montage realizing that this is going to be tougher than he thinks it's going to be.
That'd be cool.
So, they really just lay it on him and he fails some. I don't want to see him go into this just like Mac. Mac is pretty much perfect with everything he does there. But Mac also has a better background.
Exactly. I was about to say, Mac on S.H.I.E.L.D., is an agent. So.
Yeah. And also his arm's like as big around as my torso.
He doesn't need a suit.
Right.
He is the suit.
But Olsen is a reporter, photographer who hits the gym sometimes.
Yeah.
He should not be perfect going straight in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, if he goes straight in, he better carry his weight.
Yeah. Wynn's starting to carry his weight, so...
But
James
he was trying to explain to James, well, I'm carrying my weight, but I'm not fighting with her.
Yeah. Wynn knows he's a sidekick, and he is okay with being a sidekick.
If anything, I hope maybe the Guardian Olsen could be more like when Alex goes on, like her parts, and they get to film cheap fight sequences compared to flying and laser eyes.
Yeah.
So maybe, they can kind of tag team on something like that.
Yeah.
But, side by side with Supergirl, it's going to look dwarfed.
It is, yeah.
But that's on that. We'll be back next week to talk about the next episode.
Yep.
But now...
and of course, next week we'll have... Will we have Flashback? I know we
will have Flashback.
Back.
We will not have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back. Right. So we'll still be...
Agents, we gotta wait forever.
But that's okay. They're going to make us wait. And it's going to be worth it. As we said in last week's episode. But now... Enough with TV.
This week's main events.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strangelove.
For those who don't know, which is very little of you because the movie made $85 million in the U.S. alone this weekend. So for those who were not part of that, Doctor Strange came out, the latest Marvel Studios movie.
Yes. And what is the 30-second spoiler-free synopsis of what somebody would see going into this movie? What's...
Pure origin story.
All right.
You meet Doctor Strange... You see how he became where he is. They do very little to connect from the other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. But when they do connect, it means something.
Right.
So go see it. If you've been watching these movies, you should not miss this one. If you haven't, it's such a different movie from, say, the Avengers and the Captain Americas.
Yeah.
And it's different in vein of, like, Guardians. It's not the same tone as Guardians, but if you want, like, just something you can just watch on its own, really, this is it. If you like magic and mysticism, you won't be disappointed.
Now, I'm sure this question won't spoil anything. Would you put it in the same vein as, like, Batman Begins, as far as origin? 'Cause I know we start with
had,
Dr. Stephen Strange, who is just a regular, obnoxious surgeon.
yes.
Who then goes on a,
Um,
training and all that.
I guess the scenes where he went to Nepal echoed that Batman Begins.
Okay.
But it's hard. It's hard to put any superhero movie in vein with any of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies because they're so made.
They're on their own
in such a masterful way, and the Marvel movies have concreted their tone, and their tone is in Doctor Strange. So I guess it's the Marvel version of Batman Begins.
Right. Yeah, but like the reason I was asking that is like Batman Begins doesn't allude to Joker, it doesn't allude to Superman, Wonder Woman, anything else
until when it does.
Right.
It makes sense.
Right. But it doesn't it starts you out if you know nothing about Batman, you can go in and watch Batman Begins and then keep going.
I would say just
So if you know nothing about Doctor Strange or even Marvel.
Well, that's the thing, Marvel has been doing such a great job with taking characters and not assuming you know them. So each movie, pretty much, if you just watch it, you'll get it. Yeah. And Doctor Strange doesn't do any different from that.
All right, and we will definitely get more into that. But if you have not seen the movie, then feel free to hit pause right now, or
we won't be offended, and
come back to us later after you've seen it. See if you agree with things that TeeVo says here, because now we are entering straight into spoiler territory.
Yes.
Excuse me, spoiler alert.
We will not. There'll be a no holds bars. If you listen past this and it ruins the movie for you, then
because I am going to say some things I alluded to things that connect to the movies. I'm going to say those things.
Yes.
So, if you want to be surprised, go away.
Yes, go away but come back. Yes. Come back later and start at this point right here.
So, thumbs up all around. The movie was, it's not my favorite Marvel movie of all, but then they've done such a good job. So, for a movie to take that title, they have to show a lot. Yeah.
Would you put it in your top 5 Marvel movies?
Let's see. This is their 14th. Top 10.
Top 10? Okay.
10. I've enjoyed, some more, but that's not saying, it was terrible.
Right, yeah.
But,
we're not comparing it to all movies.
That's the bar they've set. Yeah. They've made a lot of great movies, so,
I wouldn't dare ask how it compares to Guardians.
That
wouldn't be fair to it.
Well, it's not, and like I said earlier, it's such a different tone. But nonetheless, it was enjoyable. I'm probably going to see it again. Okay. Totally going to buy it, but it's a Marvel project. Of course I'm going to buy it. But it was a great view. Not my favorite, but definitely worth watching a couple of times. So the first place I want to start with is
Benjamin Cumberbatch.
Yes, Cumberbatch.
Now, what's funny about this version, because I'm assuming just going by the previews that he speaks in an American accent.
He is American accent, yes.
Anytime I've read the comics, especially the old issues, what was it, 1607 or something?
Right.
Yeah. I always read him with a British accent.
For
some reason, he's been a British character to me.
When they casted Cumberbatch, I assumed the same. And that's not it. But you know what? He's a fantastic actor. He's proven his worth in the limited amount of years he's been in the spotlight. Right. He sells the character.
Okay, so it's not like seeing Sherlock with magic.
No, it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing of Sherlock. So it's a whole new thing he's ventured into. And if you're a fan of Cumberbatch, if you're just a fan of Doctor Strange, both will more than do its worth for you. Yeah. So no worries on that. I did like the magic aspect of his training. There are training montages. Right. And the way they explain magic in this movie is that they're pulling energy from different dimensions. So it's not just, I'm waving my hands and something magical happens. They try to, at least explain how some of it happens, which I thought was cool. Yeah.
But without not going like Lord of the Rings sort of thing where they over-explain.
Yeah, no.
Because it's only a 2-hour movie, right?
It's only a 2-hour movie, and once, they kind of, put it out there, you as the audience just think, okay, from here on out, this is how it's going to happen.
Right.
And this is how he does stuff and all that stuff. These are cool magical items, like Cloak of Levitation,
Right.
Agamotto, and there's these new little things that they call the sling rings, where they all wear a ring.
Right, yeah.
And
those are not in the comic.
Yeah, and basically, you just hold it up, and you wave your hands, and you picture where you want to go, and you can instantly go there. Pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
So, enough with Cumberbatch, because, Cumberbatch was great.
Well, I do have a question about him, though. Because
Okay.
in the comics, even though he shares a similar look to Iron Man, as far as character goes, he's not as charming as Stark is. He's more arrogant, more not to be to use our family friendly language. He's a bit of a jackass.
Yes. Yes.
So they keep
we
that
don't
with the
we don't
movie?
really see too much of him before the car accident.
Okay.
There's a couple scenes to establish this is who he was.
Right.
So when he goes on the journey of trying to fix it, we know what he wants back.
Okay.
But it is that he is definitely a jerk.
Yeah.
But again, that's the character.
Yeah.
And that makes it all better when he learns that he's more than that. A la Tony Stark.
Right. Yeah.
But I wouldn't say he was as suave as Tony Stark was.
Yeah, because the whole thing about Stephen Strange is he was like the best out there, and he knew it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did convey that machismo.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's why to him it hurt more when he couldn't.
Right.
And the scene where he wakes up in the hospital and it's in the trailers, his hands are, perched up, and he looks at it and wonders why they did it this way, and the doctor that his colleague that worked with him was like, it's all we could do, it's the best that we could do, and Rachel McAdams is there saying it took a while to find you, and that's the best they could do, and he just goes, I could have done better.
Right.
So it was something.
Yeah, because I've never really, I don't think I've seen anything with Cumberbatch being like arrogant or jerky or something. Even in Sherlock, he has that charisma.
I don't know.
To
He
him.
was pretty jerky as Khan.
Well, but we won't even get on the Star Trek thing because I compared that Khan to the old Khan, and those are two completely different characters.
But speaking of Rachel McAdams and all that,
And doesn't she use a British voice?
No.
No. Okay.
No, she is.
Okay. I thought I heard somewhere that she.
No, she's American.
Okay.
The only people that use a British is Tilda Swinton and Chiwetel Ejiofor. But nonetheless, we'll talk about.
Yeah, we definitely got to talk about Tilda Swinton because I'm curious on what planet she is from in real life. That's what planet she.
Okay. We'll talk about the ancient one.
Yeah, because she is not human. I mean, she's an amazing actress and can do anything and everything. But
she did some pretty cool stuff in this movie.
Yeah, just going by the trailer, it looks like Marvel created Tilda Swinton.
I know there was a lot of backlash because the ancient one's supposed to be the ancient Chinese secret guy.
Right.
And
but we don't need to use a stereotype of the long Fu Manchu.
We didn't, and to that I agree. I was like, well, if you wanted diversity, you could have picked an Asian woman. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, you could have, but
because isn't she Celtic
she's Celtic in this movie. But they didn't. I mean, I wasn't hurt by when they announced it. I just thought, I was like, oh, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I wonder what you're going to do with it. And it sells. You believe.
I mean, you have a British guy being American, so...
You believe this character.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a problem with it at all. The only problem I had with Tilda Swinton in this movie, and spoiler, she dies.
Yeah.
Because any Marvel superhero cannot meet the person, cannot keep the person that made them.
Right, you can't keep your Yoda.
Nope.
Yeah.
The only person so far in this universe who has kept the person that created them essentially is Scott Lang right now.
Yeah.
Hank Pym is still not dead.
Right.
But everybody else, like Iron Man with Yinsen and Cap with Dr. Erskine.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to have died around them.
Don't be a mentor in the Marvel universe.
And the Ancient One did not escape that fate. but it was a really cool way to go out, though.
Yeah.
So unlike getting shot or getting assassinated, it was a brawl.
Yeah.
It was a magical brawl. So, spoiler, everybody.
Right. But if you've listened this far, then you're already in spoiler territory.
Yes.
So.
Let's see. Wong. I really enjoyed Wong. There was a really nice interactions between Strange and Wong.
Okay.
Different than the comics. Now, I remember reading when Benedict Wong took the part.
Yeah.
I like how they got a Wong to play a Wong.
Right.
When he took the part, he didn't want to be the manservant type, and they said, "Oh no, he's gonna be awesome. Don't you worry." And he was the guy, I guess, the tough like drill sergeant type guy who was who took no crap.
Yeah.
But what's funny was when he introduced himself to Strange. He's like, "Your name, Wong." He's like, "Wong, like that's it, one name," and he just stares at him. He's
nice.
Like, "One name, like Adele or
nice.
Aristotle, Drake, Eminem." And then he just keeps talking, and then Wong takes him to get more books because Wong in the movie is the master of the library, essentially.
Okay.
So if you want a magical book, you gotta go through Wong.
And because I know the actor you're talking about there, he looks like he would fit in that sort of role.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he did. And there is some comedy. Like I said earlier, I can't say it's 100% like Batman Begins because while the movie is not like comedic like a Tony Stark
right
type feel, it does have its moments. One of the moments that made the whole theater laugh, just because it felt so out of place, but in place at the same time. So we see Strange. It's clearly established that he's been at Camertage for a while. He goes up to Wong and is trying to make jokes with this guy.
Yeah, just
make him laugh. And he goes up and says, "Hey, how we doing today, Beyonce?" And still just that stone face. And he's just like, "Come on, man. You don't know who that is?" And then we see later just that classic funny thing of, I'm busy and I don't see you taking stuff. And I turn around, you're gone. I look back to what I'm doing and I turn around and something's missing. So Strange uses his sling ring to keep stealing the books that Wong wouldn't look at. All the while, Wong is on an iPod listening to Single Ladies.
Nice.
And it's so you see like Wong listening to Single Ladies with an iPod, and then a little portal opens and Strange puts his hand through, takes a book, and Wong turns around, he's gone. Goes back to listening to Beyonce, takes another one, gone.
Now see, that's how Marvel needs to mix technology and magic. Right there, you have the iPod and then you have actual magic going.
Oh yeah, and I like that they established that in the trailer. You remember in the trailer the last scene of like one of the recent ones. Mordo gives Strange a piece of paper. Yeah. And he goes, "What is this, my mantra?" And he goes, "No, it's a Wi-Fi password."
We're not savages. Yeah.
So that was awesome. And yes, he does use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
There's a couple scenes where he's on his Microsoft Surface.
Yeah, I love product placement in modern
product
movies.
Placement, you can't escape them.
Yeah, but they got Microsoft and Apple on this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And speaking of Mordo,
well, I have a question about Wong, real quick.
Okay.
This is kind of a deep cut. You'll get it. I'm wondering if some of our other listeners will. Did he ever try to get Doctor Strange to play Countdown?
No.
Did you recognize Wong right when you saw him on there? I know you've seen IT.
Oh,
Crowd.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He's been in a couple of British shows I like, and no, he did not, but he did have
Countdown.
He did have that stance, though.
Yeah, IT Crowd was the best.
He did have that stance, though.
Yeah.
So.
And he has that very distinct voice.
And it's funny if you actually hear his regular accent. It's nothing like I guess the characters he usually plays.
Yeah.
It's very refined. Very British.
Okay. So, because he normally goes for that very stereotypical Asian type accent.
Yeah. No. He's pretty. I mean, he sounds like that regardless, but it's more refined in his actual speech.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem not forced in a bad way on the shows I've seen him in, but
no, it's believable.
Comical.
And it's either comical when it needs to be comical, and serious when.
And does he use that same voice in this movie?
What's that?
The same one he used like an IT Crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that serious manner.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mordo.
Yes.
Now, for me, this is, again, we're full spoilers, but this is actually a big spoiler for me, because going into the movie, I have not read that many Doctor Strange comics.
Mm-hmm.
I've known a little about the Doctor Strange lore.
Yeah.
But to know Doctor Strange lore, you don't have to dig too hard to know that his arch nemesis is Baron Mordo.
Right.
So when they casted Chiwetel Ejiofor, and I am saying his name right, I learned.
Yeah.
As Mordo, I was like, oh my god, so he's the bad guy.
Right.
So every trailer, everything since then, I have geared up to him being the bad guy.
Makes sense.
And
I feel there's going to be a twist.
And they threw a curveball.
Yeah.
He was not a bad guy in this movie.
Not like bad at all, or just like not major bad guy?
Well, I came in thinking that he was the
big bad.
The puppet master of the movie. The one that was, calling the real shots, because I didn't believe that Caecilius, played by Mads Mikkelsen, was like the one making it all. But he really was.
Okay.
And Mordo, really, up until that point, because he does turn bad.
Okay.
But the reason why he turns bad in this movie is not how I expected.
Mm-hmm.
So, Caecilius, his plan was to summon Dormammu and live in that, live in Dormammu's reality and live eternally. And that's his way of fixing the Earth. We die. We don't want to die. Let's let Dormammu take us over. We live forever. Right. Crazy as it is, but he had, Mads Mikkelsen's a good actor, and the writing was solid, so you understand his conviction.
Okay.
How that relates to Mordo. Mordo is straight to the books guy. Yeah. He does everything the right way, how it should be. There is no straying. There is no gray area for him. It's either you do this or you do not. And, I was watching the movie, I was like, all right, you're just being a hypocrite right now? Yeah. Because you're the bad guy. I know you're the bad guy. Your name's Mordo. Again, with comics, you don't name a character and just not be that character. Right. There is a reason you are playing Mordo. Even though you're not called Baron Mordo right now, you're called Carl Mordo. But I know what you are. Yeah. So when Strange battles Caecilius, he lets a little plot point out of the bag and says, you think I'm the only one that, channels the Dark Dimension? How do you think the Ancient One's been alive this long? So you're thinking, oh, whoa, no. Yeah. And before she died, it is revealed that how she maintains her immortality, she does channel part of the Dark Dimension's...
Which you keep saying Dark Dimension. That's not in the comics.
Yeah. And the Dark Dimension's... power. Okay. And that truly did upset Baron Mordo. Okay. And to a point where that's really where it became, he became the bad guy. Okay. He was so distraught that the Ancient One, who he followed, not in a spiteful way, he followed the Ancient One, would have been to the death. Yeah. And to see that she herself broke the rules while telling people, don't do this, truly hurt him. Right. Okay. That's where he became.
That's how you make a supervillain.
Yeah.
Right there, yeah.
But no, what surprised me was that he was not the whole time, up until really the end.
So it's almost like his origin story in there, too.
Yeah. So it wasn't really to the end where you see the bad guy. And post-credit! Yeah. And the post-credit was really when he was bad guy. Yeah. So the last scene of the movie, I know we're jumping around. The last scene before the movie is over. So how Strange knew what Camertage was. There was a fella he was doing rehab with that said, hey, your hands can do better. I mean, I work with a guy who was pretty much paralyzed from the neck down, and I thought he died, but then I saw him walk by me on the street, and Strange's like, oh, that's possible. Oh yeah, well, I'll prove you wrong. He gives him the file. Yeah. And then Strange, goes to track him down, and it's Benjamin Bratt, who most people know from Law and Order, or Miss Congeniality. Yeah. He's playing street ball with these kids. And he's and it's that scene in the trailer where, Strange is, by this fence and, his hands are looking so pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "How did you do it?" And the guy pretty much says, "Go to this place and blah blah blah."
Mm.
And it's revealed that he's only walking because he too channeled magic, but he didn't want to use his magic in like the greater good. He literally fixed himself to walk and be a normal human being. So post credit, we see Frenchman Brad again, and all of a sudden someone comes up and basically says, you know what the problem in this world is? And then sucks, and then it's Mordo sucking the magical life force out of him.
Oh,
Not killing him,
right.
but taking the magic that's holding him up.
Mm-hmm.
He says there's too many sorcerers. That's what's wrong with the world.
Wow.
And you're thinking, well, there you go.
That is bad guy.
That's bad guy right there.
Yeah.
But it was earned, though.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what the movie does, and some Marvel movies, is take what you know and sometimes either curbing the exact way you know it, or flipping it to where I think the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. producers said it the best way. If you already know what happens, what's the point?
Right. Yeah, we don't want to watch a comic book. Yeah. We can just read it.
Sometimes it's worth it to do it verbatim, and sometimes you gotta put the creative difference in it.
Yeah, you gotta have some other spin to it. There.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes not popular, but you got to do it.
Yeah,
and I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Shout out to another great character in the movie, the Cloak of Levitation.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Cloak of Levitation. I hope gets more screen time whenever he's in the Infinity War, and definitely in the other Doctor Strange movies they probably are going to make.
Well, the Cloak's been making it onto the Microsoft Surface commercials.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well, see, they're already ahead of my game.
He's getting his own commercial time.
It really has become. It was really not in the same way, but the Groot of the movie.
Right.
Because there was a part, the first scene where Caecilius and Strange meet and they magical battle it out, and this is when Strange really wasn't a true sorcerer yet. He was still learning, so he had no tools on him really.
Right.
And he was transported to they transported each other to the New York Sanctum, the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Right.
And they're battling and they're breaking stuff, and all of a sudden Caecilius is about to stab Strange, and all of a sudden the Cloak just no. And he tries to stab him again. No. Again. No.
Yeah.
And there's a part where the Cloak comes onto Strange, and Strange goes to find a weapon, and he sees one, and he's running towards it, and the Cloak stops him, and he's literally playing tug of war in the midst of this battle. Like you can see in his face, he's thinking, weapon right there, I could use it.
Yeah.
And the Cloak is just like, no, you passed it. It's this one right here. Use it.
So it's a mixture.
Not with words, but just
right. So without Vin Diesel.
Yes.
So it's a mixture of Groot and the carpet from Aladdin.
More the carpet from Aladdin.
Yeah.
I only used Groot just because it was like that cute character.
Right. Yeah. So that's awesome though.
Yeah.
I had a question in my head about
Mordo, Cloak Levitation, Wong, Ancient One.
I don't remember.
Well, all right. Well, I'll go with. So the big, thing about Marvel movies is they don't know how to treat their villains.
Right.
I won't say Caecilius solves that problem, but I don't see the villain problem per se like most people do.
Yeah. People
who are supposedly paid to write stuff. Yeah, some of the villains don't hold, a lot of water.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of it.
Well, like in the Iron Man movies.
But for its purpose in the movie, yeah, I mean, I enjoy them.
Yeah, because, it all leads up to fighting a greater villain.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got, it's kind of like, I think a lot of people who complain aren't video game people.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to beat the small bosses first before you get to the final.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what Caecilius was. Caecilius was very useful for the movie. Up until, well, really the end, but, that there is the big bad.
Yeah.
So it's that. And sometimes they cast people and don't give them much to do.
Yeah.
Rachel McAdams, great in this movie. But, if you're a true Rachel McAdams fan, so let's say you're going to this movie, I guess your boyfriend drags you to this movie, or girlfriend, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
And you love Rachel McAdams. You'll see Rachel McAdams. Not much Rachel McAdams, though.
Yeah.
So, and to the point where when they make a sequel, I really don't expect Rachel McAdams to be there.
Yeah.
Not because I don't think she would do a sequel, but there really is no point in her character.
Yeah. Well, besides with villains, Marvel also has a bad habit of using side girls.
Yeah.
So like Jane in the Thor movies.
Yeah.
It's a good movie even without her. I mean, you can take her out and, if you're going to use characters like that, you need to use more of them. Use them more in the movie.
Like you really, speaking of Thor, you really remember Darcy more than Jane.
Right. Yeah. Made her presence.
Shout out Kat Dennings.
Right. Made her presence more known.
Exactly.
It's like, no, Jane Foster's actually really important, but this other...
She's hilarious.
The side girl.
She's hilarious.
It's the one people want to see.
If she comes back, awesome, but I personally don't see any point in her being back. Mm-hmm. But kudos, Rachel McAdams. You did a good job with what you got.
Yeah. And I may or may not have been kind of leading a segue by bringing up Thor there. Because how does this movie connect to the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Did you read any spoilers?
Yes.
Okay, so
I know.
So you didn't see it, but you know.
Right, and we are deep in spoiler territory here, so.
Okay, I was going to save that for last, but I will save the finale of the movie for last then. So, earlier when I said when the movie connects to the other films, it connects. But overall, it's a standalone. You can see it by itself.
Right.
So when it truly connects to other people, and a lot of people said, does this feel like Ant-Man? I said, well, when I was watching Ant-Man, I didn't feel like I was watching a standalone because I knew so much that it was connected. And it didn't help that Falcon showed up in the movie.
Right.
But still, it never felt like its real own thing. This truly did.
Okay.
But in the mid-credit scene, so the credits were rolling, and you hear someone talking, and immediately, if they were trying to fool us, I was like, come on, this is the 14th movie. You don't think I know what Thor sounds like?
Right.
And it was Thor, and Doctor Strange having a beer in the Sanctum Sanctorum. And
I want a mug that automatically refills.
It
when
did.
I finish it.
And, they're talking about, so Strange's like, it's my job to protect, the Earth from mystical beings and all that. So you don't think I know when a couple of Asgardians are around, and especially one that's your brother.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to, I guess, be after Ultron and the Dark World. So I think at this point, because Thor is there to find Odin. So I guess he knows now that, so this whole time my father is not running the calls. And that's really it. It's just that nice little piece to once again solidify the same universe, people.
Yeah, and I do have to say, though, when I read that, I was not surprised that of all the other sub-franchises for Strange to fall into, I knew it was going to be Thor. Had it been any of the other ones, I would have actually been very surprised.
They didn't specify if, Doctor Strange will be in Ragnarok.
Right.
But it's one of those things, when I assume in Ragnarok, now we know that Thor and Loki go to New York to find Odin. Even if Strange doesn't make a appearance, we at least know how he found him now.
Right, yeah.
Because of Doctor Strange.
Heard it from a magic bird.
Yep.
You said New York again. That reminded me my question earlier. So can the Muggles see all this stuff going on, like when there's magic battles and stuff like that?
They did it pretty smart.
Okay.
When the Ancient One was training Strange, and like I dipped into it with the Dark Dimension and all that, she introduced the concept of multiverse, different dimensions, and one thing that they have eliminated the whole collateral damage talk that was popular in Civil War and in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
She said most sorcerers train in what's called the mirror dimension.
Okay.
Where it's you can see everything that's going on, but our world is not affected by what you do.
Okay.
So that big battle you see in the trailers where
when they're going Inception on it.
Yeah, that's the mirror dimension.
Okay.
So we do not see it, but they are going all out.
Okay.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And a nice way to be like, hey, ha, no building damage. We're just gonna bend the crap out of these things.
Right.
But the final battle.
Yeah.
And the way they set up the magic in this movie for protection. So in the Ancient One and Wong reiterate that there are 3 sanctums on this earth. 3 sanctums, one in New York, Sanctum Sanctorum, Sanctum Sanctorum, one in London, one in Hong Kong.
Okay.
They're there to protect us from the Dark Dimension, from Dormammu. And as I said earlier, Caecilius is, like, no, I want Dormammu here. So he destroys the London one. I think he breaks the New York one. And he's about to take care of the Hong Kong one. And we see Strange intercept him by going to the Dark Dimension.
Okay.
And with the help of the Eye of Agamotto. And then when I said, and I don't know if you knew this spoiler, but again, spoiler for everybody else, the Eye of Agamotto in the comics is just the mystical, thing he wears on his, neck. It's all magic, but in this universe, it is an Infinity Stone.
I didn't know that, but it's not surprising.
It's not surprising, but it's just...
I was kind of wondering, because I can't read your notes upside down, so I was kind of wondering when Infinity Stone was coming in.
The Eye of Agamotto is the Time Stone.
Okay.
And what it does, what he learns how to do with it is bend time. Right. So basically reverse time. And like because in the beginning of the movie, the first scene of the movie is Caecilius breaking into the Ancient One's library, stealing a page. You don't know what it is. And then later you pretty much guess it's probably Dormammu. Yeah. But Strange sees the Eye of Agamotto while he's, studying. And, he's wondering, okay, how's this work? And he flips a book and tries to learn it. And then he repairs the page that was taken by reversing the time on it. Huh. So he can kind of just pick certain parts to repair with time. Yeah. And naturally Mordo and Wong freaked out because they don't want anyone to disrupt the natural law. Yeah. You're not really supposed to do that.
But as much as we see time manipulated in comics and in movies and stuff like that, I've never, I don't think, seen it used for something so small, yet meaningful. Yes. But like to fix a book. Normally it's like, no, we got to go back 100,000 years and get the first page from this book when it was written.
Yep. So the finale of the movie, which I really like because every Marvel movie up until, I guess, Doctor Strange really, the climax was a big brawl. Right. Something huge. Yeah. And
the attack on New York, stuff like that.
Yeah, attack New York. Even though the last scene, the Guardians, had a dance off, it was still a space battle.
Right, yeah.
It was generally the hero overpowering the bad guys. This time was not the case. Strange had to outsmart Dormammu. Okay. And what he did was, so he saw the Dark Dimension about to swallow up Earth. And he decides to levitate to go into it. Naturally, Mordo's like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. And at this point, he's still a good guy. Yeah. Mordo's, "What are you doing?" And he flies in. And just, if you see it in 3D, I didn't, but man, just some of the effects in this movie, wow. The graphics of the Dark Dimension were awesome. So he's flying through, and it's literally watching, the comic book. Yeah. Just the artwork of what they showed on screen compared to the artwork of the comic book. Okay. It's comparable. So before he challenges Dormammu, you see him do something with the Eye of Agamotto. And you don't know what he's doing yet. Yeah. And then he flies towards Dormammu. And by the way, Dormammu is also played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. Yeah, he
motion captures.
Yeah, I did read about that.
And he flies up to him. And he goes, "Dormammu, I have come to bargain." And Dormammu kills him. Shoots him away. Wow. Says, "You come here to die," and just kills him. And you're like, what the?
That's a nice twist there.
And then all of a sudden, from the same place he came in, from the first time you saw it, "Dormammu, I've come here to bargain." And you're like, okay. And then Dormammu kills him again. And then, "Dormammu, I've come here to bargain."
So the movie got on loop there.
So his plan... So Caecilius, mentioned earlier, there is no time in the Dark Dimension. Yeah. So Strange's plan was to bring, and he said it to Dormammu when Dormammu's killed him 20 times at this point. He's like, "I brought your enemy to this dimension, time." So what he did was he trapped Dormammu in a time loop. Ah, okay. To basically annoy him.
So for all of eternity, he just keeps having the same fight. Yeah,
Dormammu, I've come here to bargain. Like you heard it a lot. Dormammu,
that would be hell.
I've come here to bargain. Dormammu, I've come here to bargain. And what he wanted, because after maybe the 30th time, he's like, okay, what do you want? I want you to leave.
Yeah.
And I will break this time loop.
Yeah, because normally it's just fighting and bronze over everything to win.
It was pure outsmarting and annoying.
Yeah. Annoyed him to defeat.
In the theater, I laughed. I was like, I can't believe that he annoyed him. That was the plan, to annoy him to death. That was awesome. Because
I imagine sitting in the theater, you're expecting like this huge, you see him bust through
battle.
and you're expecting this big fight. Yeah.
No, he outsmarted him.
Oh, I just saw you do the hands. Does Doctor Strange ever do the Doctor Strange hands?
He doesn't do it like, say...
Like in the comics?
Where it's constantly like
right.
that. There was a part where he kind of, he does it, a little bit.
Yeah, he's got to do it at least once, because that is the Doctor Strange hand.
Yeah, you thought it was going to be a magical battle. But
yeah.
No, he just purely outsmarted him and hoped to annoy the crap out of him. But it was that moment. It was like, say, in Thor when he finally was worthy of Mjolnir.
Yeah.
This was Strange basically sacrificing himself because who knew if Dormammu was going to budge?
Right.
That was just going to be it. So he basically sacrificed himself to protect the Earth.
And that kind of goes back to where we started at the beginning, talking about the character of Doctor Strange. That's something that only worked for somebody. Only somebody who is so arrogant would think, I can annoy him to defeat.
Yeah. And if not, then at least everybody is safe.
Yeah. I mean, like Iron Man would have gone in there, guns blazing. Thor would have swung his hammer, throw it,
But as we saw, Iron Man did go through a wormhole.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we knew how that was going to end.
Exactly. And same with it. We knew he was going to get out of it somehow.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was still cool to see. And oh no, but he did leave the Dark Dimension. And he did also say, take Caecilius and his followers with you. And they did do that.
Yeah.
But when, he comes back to Hong Kong where the, final battle was, everything's ruined. Wong is dead.
Yeah.
But guess he has the Eye Agamotto. And instead of fixing a page, he reversed everything.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. And that's when Mordo left saying, I can't be with people who use dark magic like that.
Yeah.
And he comes back, I guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, when it mattered, the connection, it mattered. Other than that, you should just go see it.
Okay.
And I can't protest that that I have been a Doctor Strange fan for a long time. Because I haven't. I honestly didn't really know who Doctor Strange was until I started playing Marvel video games.
Yeah. I mean, Marvel took the same risk with this that they took with Guardians.
They take the same risk almost with everything.
Yeah. But, I mean, as far as, like, the knowledge of even regular fans.
Obscurity.
Yeah.
So, it's just become to a point where I want to watch everything Marvel.
Yeah.
They do such a good job of making you get these people before you really have to know them.
Right, yeah.
Like right now with Ghost Rider. I think a lot of people are familiar with the Ghost Rider, but, who was familiar with Robbie Reyes besides people who read comics?
Barely anybody,
and, they're doing a good job explaining him. And in the Netflix show, I mean, Jessica Jones, I never heard of Jessica Jones before that, and that, they show 13 hours, and I feel like I know her.
Yeah.
So, kudos.
Yeah, and I like how Marvel seems to do it, and it sounds like it with this movie too, where it's like, this is a 2-hour origin movie.
Yeah.
But it's not like The Hobbit or Fellowship of the Rings, where it's like, we're going to sit you through and explain every detail of this, or even like Harry Potter to give it more of a, X for X sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to explain every single detail about the magical world. We're going to give you as much as you need to know, and then go with it. Yeah. It's like, this is the mirror world. You know that now. So now anything that happens in the mirror world makes sense to you.
Yep.
We don't have to explain all of Hogwarts.
This is the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So when you see dark purple stuff, that's bad.
Right, yeah. I do have a question about the characters, though. I know this is a little longer than a normal episode. With Doctor Strange, we see in the previews, if you look at a comic book cover of Doctor Strange, this is what they made Benedict Cumberbatch look like. I hear even towards the end, they give him the little silver on the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. from your limited knowledge of the comics, how do the other characters kind of... Obviously, the Ancient One's going to look different, but everybody
Mordo
else...
looked different. I think,
Everybody else you kind of took more liberties with? Or...
Everybody else had more liberties. Dormammu did not look the way I know the way Dormammu looks.
But it didn't take away from the experience.
No. It, you know, his presence was felt.
Right.
And Mordo didn't look like, you know, a magical Dracula.
Yeah, Mordo was my biggest question on that one.
I mean, you know...
Because I really can't
For those of you who've seen Serenity, he's pretty much the operative.
Okay, yeah.
And the scene where he stole the magical powers, he was really the operative.
Yeah.
The way the hand was at the guy's torso, I was like, that's the operative.
Yeah, because just thinking of, you know, the older Mordo is like... I can't see that being taken straight from the comic into the movie without it being goofy. I mean, it works for the comics. Yeah. But if you just take that costume and put it on a real person...
Strange is really the only person that I know.
Yeah. And he has a distinct look. I mean, he kind of has to look
Strange is the only person that I knew that could, you know, match the comic book. But everything else, but that's, again, the beauty of Marvel. It's okay.
Yeah.
It didn't... I mean, you know, that thing bothers you, then why are you still watching these movies?
Yeah.
You know?
But with the main character, at least, there has to be some familiarity.
Yeah, the main character, yes,
too,
but
everybody else
had, you know, their own look to it. They don't look anything like the comic. That's okay.
I mean, Groot doesn't look exactly like he does in... Actually, he barely looks like the old Groot, like the 1970s Groot.
Yeah, and he's definitely not the Groot that's wearing clothes.
Right. Yeah, so, you know, they take liberties like that.
Exactly. So, you know, what's the harm?
Yeah. So, obviously, we're going to see Strange again.
Yes.
Do we know when the sequel's...
We don't know a sequel, but it did say Doctor Strange will return.
Yeah.
Whether he shows up in Ragnarok, we don't know.
Yeah. I'm waiting for one Marvel movie where they don't put that at the end.
It freaks everybody out.
I know, because it's always like the Avengers will return, Thor will return, and we know that, even going into the movie, but I want it to be like Doctor Strange might return.
But I think the next time, well, just because there's no time to do a sequel right now, I think the next time, and they pretty much confirmed it, is we'll see him in the Infinity War.
Right, yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Now, he kept his Infinity Stone at the end of that movie?
Actually, no.
No? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Good question.
Yeah.
So...
Because everybody else loses.
Oh, actually, good question all around. At the end, what really surprised me was that he does not wear the Eye of Agamotto.
Okay.
And they keep it safe for obvious reasons. So he doesn't know what the Infinity Stones are.
Wong doesn't or Strange doesn't?
Strange doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't know anything about that. He just
thinks it's magic.
He just sees the Eye of Agamotto as a really powerful weapon. It's probably best to be safeguarded from everybody.
Okay.
And Wong says, actually, you're right. You don't want to be wearing a Infinity Stone around your neck. And he goes, what? He's like, there's so much you don't know.
Nice.
And also, what surprised me, even though it's an origin story, he is not Sorcerer Supreme by the end of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just assumed that he kind of finished training and became...
Nope.
Okay.
He is not Sorcerer Supreme.
Because that's kind of how they do it in the comic. He's, like, always up there.
I guess they're building him up, which seems pretty cool. Maybe he'll be by the end of the Infinity War, maybe in his second movie. But the biggest promotion he gets, so each sanctum has a master that guards the sanctum from, you know, the bad guys. And he becomes the master of the New York Sanctum, which is the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Right, yeah.
But
very convenient that it happens to be in New York.
But yeah, that's the biggest promotion he gets. But by the end of this movie, at least it wasn't implied. I didn't get it. If he was, you know, it didn't spell it out to me. But he was not the Sorcerer Supreme by the end of the movie. Okay. So they're really taking...
So there's room for growth.
There is a lot of room for growth.
So it seems kind of like how the end of Civil War was technically a happy ending, using air quotes. Yeah. It wasn't like your typical happy ending. Like everybody gets to go do their own thing now because the big bad is killed. You know, we can...
Now, the post-credit with Thor, you know, you see a costume change a bit because he's wearing the Doctor Strange gloves at that point.
Right.
So, whether that means, oh, are you by then? Or are you just putting on gloves?
Put on gloves, yeah.
We don't know. So, we'll have to wait on the answer for Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
But other than that, you should go see this movie.
So you saw it, you definitely want to see it again. Definitely gotta buy it on Blu-ray.
Yes. And that's all I got to say for you folks today.
All right, and we'll be back next week with Supergirl and Flash.
Yes, all CW.
All CW, yeah.